Scott Jones, Martini Whisperer here. Welcome back to another episode of Sipping Time. This is the third in a current instalment of looking at different books I find really useful or inspirational about craft spirits, gins, martinis, and the works. I've got 4 books to introduce you today. The first is by an English lady called Olivia Williams, Gin, Glorious Gin. This is the sort of things I get for Christmas and birthdays, so people know me too well. And what's really charming about this book is it actually traces the history of how gin has evolved, especially from a United Kingdom perspective, and tells the story of the families and the technology and the laws and all the things that kind of made it all possible, going back to the 1600s and forward. And so, for example, there's a session about the middle of the 19th century, how you've got the different families, businesses like Gordon's, the Tanquerays and Nickerson, the Booths, the Langdale distilleries, they all got clustered around parts of London where there was good water and natural springs, and where they could also get the grain come in from the country to make the spirits. So all that nitty gritty kind of stuff, and then how the families intermarried and had different relationships and how they got on and changes through time and effects of World War II and so on and so forth. So if you want to get a really good insight into how the industry of gin has evolved, especially in the English context, but in a really kind of novelistic, conversational kind of way, I recommend Olivia Williams' book here, Gin, Glorious Gin. It's a great read. Another present that Santa brought to me a couple of years ago was this one called another lady author called Amy Stewart, this time American, called The Drunken Botanist. A lot of bar guys will know this book, and it's a cracker because it really gives you insights into botanicals, herbs, but also how you can work with them. So I come back to this, I'm trying to create a recipe for a client, for a cocktail or something like that, or just dream up something myself. I can dip into this and it goes into what wormwood or angelica or coriander and their properties and elderflower and so forth. So for example, a little chapter on elderflower, obviously where it is, how you can grow it, how to make a cordial out of it, nor restrict, how to make tinctures, bitters, lots of inspiration, how to work with spruce, black currants and so forth. So a real encyclopedia of working with herbs and botanicals in spirits, maybe making your own infusions and so forth. So this is a really great resource and very accessible. Amy Stewart. The next one popped up recently called The Spirit of Gin, a miscellany of the New Gin Revival by a gentleman called Matt Teacher. This beautiful book. So this, again, emerged quite recently, and it's a bit of a hybrid in terms of, it's got a very American focus. And it goes into how to make syrups, for example, how to make your own tonic syrup, to go with your gin, naturally. Styles of gin, how to do your home gin tastings, what you might need, how to make your own hangover cure. It's got here, actually it's more rehydration, preventative, try that again, a preventative rehydration beverage. Unflavoured coconut water with some orange or pineapple juice and a touch of salt. And you drink that and before bed to avoid a hangover. I should try that. Could have been handy last week. Anyways, so different types of recipes, old ads, directory of American distillers and international distillers around the world. So a really good encyclopedia. So great book, Matt Teacher. And the final one is an encyclopedia of gin, the Gin Dictionary by David T. Smith. Again, a very elegant looking book. And it is literally a encyclopedia coming in from definition of citrus to what we mean by gin apple forward, to classic cocktails, what we mean by compound gin or contemporary gin. So everything you always want to know, but we're afraid to ask. Where does Jennifer come from? How to make a gimlet? Who was Gilby's brand? The history of Gordon's gin. So it kind of sums up in an encyclopedia way a lot of these other books in a very distinct kind of way. So David T. Smith, again, really great little resource. What Navy strength gin means, all that nuts and bolts stuff. So the Gin Dictionary, highly recommended. So thanks for listening. Check out the other episodes about the other books I enjoy and recommend. And if you've got some suggestions or questions for future sessions of Sipping Time, you know where to find me. Like and subscribe, and thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.